So we shall start inverse Z transformations today. Okay, I'll just share a screen. See, first, let me explain what is inverse Z transform, the formula list, and then we'll solve problems on inverse Z transformations. Okay, so it is just a reverse of whatever so far you did. So far, you know how to find a Z transformation. Now, the inverse we will take. So the inverse Z transformation will be defined like this. If zt of un, that means z transform of un is equal to u bar of z, then zt inverse of u bar, you take this zt to the right hand side, so you get inverse of u bar. Inverse of u bar is un. So far, I used to give a function containing n. You used to find z transformation of that. But now it is reverse. A function containing z will be there. You have to find the answer in terms of n, un. So which is called as inverse Z transformation, exactly opposite. And these are the list of standard inverse Z transformations. And already I told, if you remember the Z transformation formula, inverse transformation is just the reverse of them. So it is something like this, exactly same as Laplace. See, these formulas already you know. So in the last class we have defined Z transformation of 1. What is Z transformation of 1? Z by Z minus 1, correct? This is the formula you have written. Z transformation of 1 as Z by Z minus 1. Now the reverse. Inverse of Z by Z minus 1 is 1. And in the last class you have written K power n. If there is a term K power n, the Z transformation of K power n, we used to write it as Z by Z minus K. Now the reverse. If there is a term like Z by Z minus K, the inverse of that Z by Z minus K is K power n. I may get a term like this, Z by Z minus 10. The inverse of Z by Z minus 10 is 10 power n, like that. And Z transformation of n, it is Z by Z minus 1 whole square. So now the reverse. Inverse of Z by Z minus 1 whole square is n. And this is the formula. Z transformation of n into K power n is Kz by Z minus K whole square. Now the reverse. Inverse of Kz by Z minus K whole square is equal to K power n into n. So these are the formulas already you know. So and here exactly it is opposite. Whatever the Z transformation you have written for these functions, if you interchange LHS and RHS, you will going to get a list of inverse Z transformations. So one table, if you remember, the formulas of Z transformation. So inverse Z transformations directly you can write. Right. So this is the list of standard inverse Z transformation. 1 no, K power n no, n no, n square, n cube, K power n into n, K power n into n square. So these are the standard inverse Z transformations. So remember the formula list. So this formula list already you know. So you have to write in the reverse order. So with this standard inverse Z transformation, let us see how to solve a problem now. See here, there will be two types of problems in inverse Z transformation. And remember guys, solving inverse Z transformation is very, very important. If you understand how to solve a problem on inverse Z transformation, you can attend 2 questions in the exams. One question is from inverse Z transformation, direct question. Another one question will come from difference equations. When you are solving a problem on difference equations, you have to find inverse Z transformation. So if you know inverse Z transformation, 2 questions easily can attend in the annual examination. 7 plus 7, 14 marks, or 7 plus 6, 13 marks. Okay. So as I told you, there will be 2 types of problem. Type 1, inverse Z transformation of a rational algebraic functions by partial fractions method. Okay. So here one more is a series method that is not required. Only one type, inverse Z transformation of rational algebraic functions, in which repeated factors, non-repeated factor. 2 types of problems will come, and this is the working rule to solve a problem here. So I'll go step by step. So working rule. So here in finding inverse Z transformation, the given function will be taken as u bar of z, and you will going to identify whether u bar of z is in this form, f of z by g of z. Normally there will be a ratio, because all these formulas, if you see the inverse Z transformation formulas, if you see, these are the ratios, right? It is in the form of a by b, z by z minus 1, z by z minus 1 whole square, z square plus z by z minus 1 whole cube. That means there is a divided function, ratios here, right? So that means you're going to have some function like this. f of z divided by g of z. A function will be given to you like this. We express g of z in terms of non-repeated linear factors. So observe g of z and try to express it as a non-repeated linear factors. Sometimes the repetitions will come. For repetitions, you have to use a small changes in the procedure. I'll tell you what is that. So after that, I mean, if you have z square plus 3z plus 1 here, factorize this. I mean, you write it as a product of linear factors in the denominator in step 1. Like your partial fractions of inverse Laplace transformation. Same thing will come here also. Next, we consider, so in the numerator, 1z you take it to the left hand side and write that function as u bar of z divided by z. So u bar of z divided by z is equal to some term will come. Resolve the right hand side into partial fractions. Right? So this is the second step. First step is denominator should be written as a product of linear factors. Second step, numerator 1z, take it to the left hand side. You get u bar of z divided by z is equal to something. That right hand side function, resolve it into partial fraction. See, once you resolve the right hand side into a partial fraction, we multiply this z, whatever it is there in the denominator of left hand side, you send it to the RHS or multiply that entire expression by z. So if you multiply the entire equation by z, the left hand side z gets cancelled. You get u bar of z is equal to the right hand side. You get something like some constant 2z divided by some denominator 3z by z minus 3, something like that will come. Some term in the numerator into z divided by denominator. So that's what we have to do in the third step. The third step is just multiply z on both sides. And in the next step, we take inverse z transformation on both sides and we find what is the required answer. A simple procedure here. So this is how we can find the inverse z transformation for a problem here. Right? So ratio will be given. Make sure that in the denominator there is a product of linear factors. And after that, in the numerator, you take 1z common and take it to the left hand side, denominator of left hand side, and evaluate that right hand side. I mean, resolve the right hand side into partial fractions. And in the third step, multiply z on both sides, take inverse z transformations, apply the formula and find out the final answer. So this is a procedure. So anyway, you can understand this procedure easily when we solve one problem. So now if you see, you may get some confusions like what is this C, how it comes, u bar of z by z, how it comes, all these things. But when I solve one problem, this procedure easily you can understand. It is an easy procedure and one question in inverse transformation will come in the annual examination. And here there is a one important thing you need to notice, that is sometimes g of z, that means this denominator function g of z will have a repeated linear factors, z minus k whole square, z minus k whole cube, whole power 4, etc. In these cases, the corresponding numerators will be assumed as kz square plus k square z. So according to this repetition. See, this is only the purpose of writing the numerators in this form is only to express the function in the form of this list, in the form of the standard list. See, in the denominator, suppose you have z minus k whole square. In the numerator, you should have kz to apply this formula. So, if I have z minus k whole square in the denominator, I'll write k into z in the numerator. If I have z minus k whole cube in the denominator of a problem, the numerator I'll try to write kz square plus k square z. So, to express the given problem in this standard form, if there is a repeated terms in the denominator, z minus k whole square, whole cube and all, these quantities will be considered in the numerator in order to bring a problem to the standard form. So once you bring it to the standard form like this, you can take z inverse on both sides and apply this formula list, use this formula list and write on the final solution. Right. So this is how we can define our inverse Z transformation, the list of standard inverse Z transformation, the working procedure to solve a problem here. So this is about your inverse Z transformation basic concepts. So let us see how to solve a problem by using this working rule now. So we discuss about the problem. I'll take a particular example, and again I'm going to explain this working procedure step by step, so that easily you can understand these rules here. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Easily you can understand when I solve one particular example. Okay, so I'll go to the problem solving now. So I'll just take the first problem. Just a minute. Problem number 1. Find the inverse Z transform. Find the inverse Z transform of, it is Z divided by Z minus 1 into Z minus 2. So find the inverse Z transform of Z divided by Z minus 1 into Z minus 2. So this is a given problem here. So let us see how to find the inverse of this. Very important, guys. Observe carefully, because if you understand inverse Z transformation, you can able to write 2 questions in the annual exam. So carefully observe now. Let u bar of Z. So u bar of Z means this one, the given function. It is equal to Z by Z minus 1 into Z minus 2. So this is the given function. So I'll take the given problem as u bar of Z. This is the first step. See, and you can observe that according to step 1 of your working rule, the given function u bar of Z will be in the form f of Z divided by g of Z. So you can observe, this is f of Z, this is g of Z. There is a ratio. So every problem of your inverse Z transform will be in this form. There will be a ratio like this. Now what we have to do in the step 1? See the numerator first. First you make sure whether there is a product in the denominator. So there is a product of linear factors, Z minus 1 into Z minus 2. So if sometimes I may not give a product terms here, in such case, either by factorization or some other method, try to express the denominator as a product of some terms. But for this particular example, the denominator is already in the required form. That means there is a product of 2 terms, linear factors in the denominator. So it satisfies our step 1. Okay. So if it is not there in this form, then you have to factorize and bring it to this form. Now go to second step. The second step says, observe the numerator and take the Z term, one Z term. Here there is only one Z term. Sometimes I may have Z square or Z cube, something like that. In such case, you take one Z to the left hand side. I mean, bring it to the denominator of LHS. So I'll write this as, this implies u bar of Z divided by Z is equal to 1 by Z minus 1 into Z minus 2. So I'll call this as equation number, say, 1. So the numerator, one Z term, take it to the left hand side. And the same step says you have to simplify this right hand side. You have to resolve this right hand side into partial fractions. So let us consider this separately and we resolve it into a partial fraction now. So consider this 1 by Z minus 1 into Z minus 2. So this is equal to, can you tell me what is a partial fraction for this? What is a partial fraction for this? What is the partial fraction for this? Hemant.
A by Z minus 1 plus B by Z minus 2.
A by Z minus 1 plus B by Z minus 2. Correct now? So this is the partial fraction for this. It is a linear non-repeated factor. A by first term plus B by second term. Just resolve it into partial. Now let us equate the numerators. I can take LCM. Okay, you can follow that procedure, whatever you did in inverse Laplace. So I can cancel this z minus 1, z minus 1. So it is a into z minus 2, the first term. So you get 1 is equal to, one step directly I'll write a into z minus 2 plus b into z minus 1. If you take LCM and simplify also, you get this one only. Correct? No? If you take LCM and simplify, you get this step. Directly I am writing 1 is equal to the left hand side. Z minus 1, Z minus 1, leave it. A into Z minus 2 plus B. Z minus 2, Z minus 2 gets cancelled. B into Z minus 1. Now find the values of A and B. So now put Z is equal to the first root 1. So here there are two values, the two roots here. One is Z is equal to 1, another one is Z is equal to 2. So let us substitute Z is equal to 1 first in this. If I put Z is equal to 1 in this, you get 1 equals. So A, it is 1 minus 2. So A into, I'll write directly, A into 1 minus 2, whereas B becomes 0. So this implies A equals minus 1. Correct? No, the value of A is minus 1. Now the second root you substitute, put Z is equal to what? 2. Correct? No, Z is equal to 2. So you get left hand side, you have 1. 1 equals. If I put 2 here, this is 2 minus 2, 0. 0 into A, 0 plus B, it is 2 minus 1. So on simplification, here you get B is equal to 1. Correct? No, 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 into B is equal to 1. So B is 1. So A is minus 1, B is 1. Let us substitute them in this equation. We get therefore 1 by the Z minus 1 into Z minus 2 is equal to A. A is minus 1 by Z minus 1 plus B is 1 by Z minus 2. Correct? No? I'm substituting this AB in this equation. But now you know that this 1 by Z minus 1 into Z minus 2 can be written as U bar of Z by Z according to equation 1. So let us use equation 1 now. Using 1. So I can write this left hand side as U bar of Z divided by Z equals the right hand side. I'll write positive term first. This 1 by Z minus 2, then minus 1 by Z minus 1. So I'll write this positive term first, 1 by Z minus 2 minus 1 by Z minus 1. So this completes the second step of a working procedure. Right? The first step is make sure that here you have a product and take one Z term of the numerator of right hand side to the left hand side. Second step, take this right hand side, resolve it into partial fraction, and then write U bar of Z by Z is equal to that. Now the third step says you have to eliminate this Z in the left hand side, send this Z to the right hand side, or multiply by Z. I can write like this, multiply by Z. If I multiply by Z, you get U bar of Z is equal to the right hand side. It is Z by Z minus 2 minus Z by Z minus 1. Correct? Left hand side, Z get cancelled. U bar of Z is equal to right hand side. If you multiply by Z, it is Z by Z minus 2. Here we get Z by Z minus 1. So this is our U bar of Z. And once you get U bar of Z, take inverse Z transformation on both sides. So if I take inverse Z transformation, we get ZT inverse of U bar of Z left hand side is equal to RHS. It is ZT inverse of Z by Z minus 2 minus ZT inverse of Z by Z minus 1. So that means I'm taking inverse for each and every term here. And we know that ZT inverse of U bar of Z will be written as UN. So ZT inverse of U bar of Z is called as UN, the function, is equal to the right hand side. So it is Z by Z minus 2. See, this looks like, see this term. So ZT inverse of Z by Z minus K. Now what is ZT inverse of Z by Z minus K? What is the formula? What is inverse of Z by Z minus K? What is the Z transform of K power N? Students, Z transform of K power N is what? So k power n, z transformation is z by z minus k. Now the reverse. Inverse of z by z minus k is k power n. So this is the formula I can use here. So this looks like z by z minus k. The answer is k power n, and in place of k, what we have here? 2. So the answer for this one is what? 2 power n. 2 power n minus, so z by z minus 1. And the inverse of z by z minus 1 is 1. Already we have written. So you get un is equal to, it is 2 power n minus 1, 2 power n minus 1, and this is the inverse z transformation of your problem. So this is how we can find the inverse z transformation of a problem, of any problem, by using the procedure whatever we have discussed. Okay, so we'll take second problem on inverse z transformations. Just write the question. Second one, find the inverse z transform of, find the inverse z transform of 5z divided by 2 minus z into 3z minus 1. 2 minus z divided by 3z minus 1. Let us see how to find the inverse of this. Now, so what is the first step here? You know, the first step is, let us take the given function as u bar of z. So here u bar of z equals, it is 5 into z divided by, this is 2 minus z into 3z minus 1. Correct? So this is the given function. Now what we have to do in the first step? So the first step says, you have to take this z, one z which is present in the numerator of right hand side to the left hand side. I can write this as u bar of z divided by z equals the right hand side, it is 5 divided by 2 minus z into 3z minus 1, and we call this as equation. Right? So 1z, I'll take it to the left hand side and I'll rewrite it like this. Now, as usual, we consider the right hand side and we resolve it into a partial fraction. So consider the right hand side now. Consider this 5 divided by 2 minus z into 3z minus 1. So this is equal to, see, the partial fraction for this one is, so what is the partial fraction? See, this is linear, non-repeated. See, all these things are non-repeated. The powers are 1 here, 2 minus z power 1, 3z minus 1 power 1. So non-repeated. There is no square, cube and all. Keep that in your mind. So the partial fraction for this is a by 2 minus z, the first term, plus b by 3z minus 1. Right? So we have resolved it into a partial fraction. Now let us find AB. So let us take LCM, equate the numerators. So straight away I can write this as 5 equals A into, say, 5 equals A into 2 minus Z, 2 minus Z, leave it. So it is A into 3Z minus 1. So it is 5 equals A into 3Z minus 1 plus B 3z minus 1, 3z minus 1. This term gets cancelled. It is b into 2 minus z. Right? So just 2 minus z, 2 minus z. If you leave it, a into 3z minus 1 plus b, 3z minus 1, 3z minus 1. If you leave, it is b into 2 minus z. Now find the values of AB. So let us put z is equal to. So what are the roots here? See this. From this I can write 2 is equal to z, or z is equal to 2. The first root is z is equal to 2. Right. And the next root is, put z is equal to, I'll write the values of z first. See, I can write like this. 3z is equal to 1. Then z is equal to 1 by 3. So these are the two roots of this expression. Z is equal to 2. z is equal to 1 by 3. Let us substitute now. First, z is equal to 2. If I put z is equal to 2 in this expression, we get 5 equals. See, this is 2 here, 3 into 2, 6. 6 minus 1, 5. 5a plus b becomes, z is 2, no, 2 minus 2, 0. So our 5 gets cancelled, so that our a becomes 1. So the value of a is 1. Now, if I put z is equal to 1 by 3, the left hand side is same, 5 equals. If I put 1 by 3 here, so this is 3 into 1 by 3. 3 gets cancelled, you get 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So the a value becomes 0. Whereas b, it is 2 minus 1 by 3. So this is equal to, this implies 5 equals, take LCM, 3 into 2, 6. 6 minus 1, 5. So it is 5 into b divided by 3. So this implies b equals, see this 5 gets cancelled. If you cross multiply, you get b equals 3. Right, 5 gets cancelled. If you cross multiply, b becomes 3. So the value of a is 1, b is 3. So substitute these two values in this. So if I substitute, we get 5 divided by, this is 2 minus z into 3z minus 1 equals, the right hand side, a is 1 by 2 minus z plus b is 3 by 3z minus 1. Right? So this is what we got. Right? Partial fractions we have applied. Now look at this term, and this term according to equation 1, I can write this as u bar of z by z. Apply that. So using 1, I can write the left hand side as u bar of z divided by z equals RHS. Now listen to me carefully. See in the right hand side. So look at the denominator. The denominators of your inverse Z transformation problem should be like this. It should be in the form of Z minus K. But here what we have, 2 minus Z. So that Z should come first and the sign of Z should be always positive. But here you are negative. So I'll take minus common in this. I mean, I'll write this as 1 by minus of Z minus 2. So whenever you have a term like this, the coefficient of Z is minus, take it outside. So it is Z minus 2. So it looks like Z minus K now. So always the term should be like this. Plus, it is 3 by, now here the denominator. So it is 3Z minus 1. But remember guys, in every formula of inverse Z transformation, the coefficient of Z is always 1. But here the coefficient is 3. So let us take the 3 outside. Right? So the coefficient of Z should be always 1. But since we have 3 here, so this 3, I'm taking it outside. So it becomes Z minus 1 by 3. So whenever you have a problem like this, rewrite it. Always I want like this, Z minus K. So that this 3 gets cancelled here. So and we get, so u bar of Z equals, I'll directly send this Z to the right hand side. So it becomes minus Z by Z minus 2 plus, if I send this to the second term, it becomes Z by Z minus 1 by 3. Right? So I'm sending this Z to the right hand side. So I get minus Z divided by Z minus 2. And if I send this to the second term, it becomes Z by Z minus 1 by 3. So we get u bar of Z. So take Z inverse on both sides. So if you take inverse Z transform, you get ZT inverse of u bar of Z equals RHS. So here what I am going to do, since it is a negative term, I'll write the positive term first. It is ZT inverse of, the first I'll write Z by Z minus 1 by 3 minus ZT inverse of, it is Z by Z minus 2. I'll write this positive term first, then minus inverse of this Z by Z minus 2. And now we know ZT inverse of u bar of Z is UN. So get UN equals. So what is inverse of this? So it is again same. You can observe here. This is zt inverse of z by z minus k. The formula is k power n. So z inverse of z by z minus k is k power n. So it is z inverse of z by z minus k. K is 1 by 3. So if you apply this formula, so k power n means it is 1 by 3 whole raised to the power of n minus, so it is again same, z by z minus k. Here k is 2, so it becomes 2 power n. So I get un is equal to 1 by 3 whole power n minus 2 power n, and this is the inverse Z transformation of your problem. So this is how we can find the inverse Z transformation of a problem using the procedure we have discussed. So we start third problem. Evaluate zt inverse of 3z square plus 2z by 5z minus 1 into 5z plus 2. So one of the important problem, this is repeated many times in the exam. I'll put 2-star mark for this. So this is a problem given, and here also you can observe that. So it is 5z power 5z minus 1 power 1, 5z plus 2 whole power 1 only. There is no repeated powers. There is no squares and cubes here. So these are also the linear non-repeated factors. So whatever we did in the first two problem, I can apply the same procedure to solve this one also. It is a similar problem. So let us see how to solve this problem by using the procedures we discussed now. So as usual, the first step, it is let u bar of z equals, it is 3z square plus 2z divided by denominator, it is 5z minus 1 into 5z plus 2. Now this is equal to, this implies. So what we have to do first? So anyway, here you have a product terms, nothing to worry. So the only thing is, in the numerator, you have to take one z term common and send it to the left hand side. So in the earlier two problems, there was only z in the numerator, but here you have 3z square plus 2z. So you take one z from this and send it to the LHS. So I can write this as u bar of z divided by z equals, the right hand side, it is 3z plus 2 divided by denominator, it is 5z minus 1 into 5z plus 2. Right, 1z I am taking outside, send it to the left hand side, we get this. Now let me call this as equation number 1 and consider this right hand side and resolve it into a partial fraction, normal procedure now. So consider this 3z plus 2 divided by denominator, it is 5z minus 1 into 5z plus 2. So this is equal to, so the partial fraction for this, here also there is no squares and cube, linear non-repeated only. So it is a by 5z minus 1 plus b by 5z plus 2. So this is the partial fraction for this. Now again same, take LCM and equate the numerators, we get. So this implies it is 3z plus 2 equals, the right hand side, see 5z minus 1, 5z minus 1 gets cancelled. So if you cross multiply, you get a into this term 5z plus 2. So it is a into 5z plus 2 plus b. So this 5z plus 2, 5z plus 2 will go. So it is b into this term 5z minus 1. Now I want to find the values of AB by putting the value for z. So what is the value for z we can give? So put z is equal to, so there are two roots here, z is equal. What are those two roots? See, observe this, 5z minus 1. So I can write this as 5z is equal to 1, then z is equal to 1 by 5. And from this I can write 5z plus 2. 5z is equal to minus 2, then z is equal to minus 2 by 5. So these are the two roots of this polynomials. So let us take these two and substitute it in this so that we get a and b values. See, first, if I put z is equal to 1 by 5 in this equation, we get, it is 3 into 1 by 5, that is 3 by 5 plus 2 equals right hand side, it is a into, this is See this, if I put 1 by 5 here, so it is 5 into 1 by 5. 5, this 5 gets cancelled, it becomes 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2. Whereas B becomes 0. So you are getting A means obviously B becomes 0. So simplify this. This implies here the LCM is 5. 5 into 2, 10. 10 plus 3, 13. 13 by 5. 13 divided by 5 equals RHS. It is 3A implies A is equal to, it is 13 divided by, cross multiply. Send this 3 here. 5 into 3, 15. So the value of A is 13 by 15. Next, if I put next value minus 2 by 5, so it is 3 into minus 2 by 5. So it becomes 3 into 2, 6, minus 6. So it is minus 6 by 5 plus 2 equals, A becomes 0. So I get B. So 5 gets cancelled, you get minus 2, minus 2, minus 3. Minus 1, it is minus 3B. Minus 3B here. So here if I take LCM here, 5 into 2, 10, 10 minus 6, it is 4. So this implies it is 4 by 5 is equal to minus 3B, implies B equals, it is minus 4 by 15. So I get the value of B. B as minus 4 by 15. These are the values of A and B. A is 13 by 15, B is minus 4 by 15. Now substitute this A and B in this expression. If I substitute here, we get, it is 3Z plus 2 divided by 5Z minus 1 into 5Z plus 2 equals, first A is 13 by 15 divided by this 5Z minus 1, then B is minus, so it is minus 4 by 15 divided by this 5Z plus 2. This is 15. Okay. Now, say use 1 now, using 1, because this entire term 3Z plus 2 by 5Z minus 1 into 5Z plus 2. Look at this. So this is 1 here. According to this equation 1, this entire thing can be written as U bar of Z by Z. This is what we did in the last problem also. Same procedure. So it is U bar of Z divided by Z equals RHS. I can write 13 by 15 divided by. See, already I told in the last problem, while solving a problem on inverse Z transformations, the coefficient of Z should be 1 always. So since you have 5 here, so let us take that 5 outside. So it becomes Z minus 1 by 5. And similarly in the next term, it is 4 by 15, 4 divided by 15 divided by 5. If we take outside, it is Z plus 2 by 5. Right? Now send this Z to the right hand side. So it becomes U bar of Z equals, I can write this as 13 by, look at this, 5 into 15. It becomes 75. 75 into this is Z by Z minus 1 by 5. It is just a simplification. 13 by 15 into 5, that is 13 by 75. This Z by Z minus 1 by 5. And similarly here also it is minus 4 by 75, minus 4 by 75. It is Z divided by Z plus 2 by 5. Sorry. Z by Z plus 2 by 5. Okay. So this is the simplified expression. Now take inverse on both sides. This implies ZT inverse of U bar of Z is equal to, this is 13 by 75 into inverse of, it is Z minus, Z by Z minus 1 by 5. And next term it is 4 by 75. So it is inverse of it is z by z plus 2 by 5. Right? I'm just taking inverse on both sides. So inverse of u bar of z equals these constants I'm keeping outside. Now you know inverse of u bar of z is un. So it is un equals the first term. It is 13 by 75. 13 by 75. What is inverse of this? Again, same formula which we have used in the previous two problems. It looks like z by z minus k. So k is 1 by 5. And you know the answer becomes k power n. The formula is k power n in these cases. So k power n means it is 1 by 5 whole power n. Minus next term, it is 4 by 75 into, what is the inverse of this? What is the inverse of this? Any guesses? What is the inverse of z by z plus 2 by? Yes,
minus 2 by 5.
yes, minus. See, here you have minus means here you get plus. But here if you have plus, the answer is it is minus 2 by 5, minus 2 by 5 whole power n. Right? Inverse of z by z plus 2 by 5 is minus 2 by 5 whole power n. So this is our un. So this is the required inverse z transformation of your problem. So this is how we can find the inverse z transformation of any problem here. Right? So this is how we can solve. So in the same way, there is a one more problem. So that problem, I'll give it to you. So you should try at home because it is a similar problem, similar as the first three problems. So it is evaluate zt inverse of, it is 2z square plus 3z, 2z square plus 3z divided by denominator, it is z plus 2 into z minus 4. 2z square plus 3z divided by z plus 2 into z minus 4. So this is also a problem in which the power is 1 year, linear, non-repeated factors. So you have to find the inverse of this by using the procedure whatever we have applied for the three problems here. Right? So this is how we can find the inverse z transformation of a function when we have linear, non-repeated factors. Right?